Ladies and gentlemen, Primetime CP23 here, back with another Diablo 3 video. Today, we're taking a look at the starter build guide for Season 13 for the Crusaders. So, in case you didn't know, the Crusaders going to get the Invoker set, aka the Thorns set, to start off Season 13. This is a very dumbed down version of that build, and it's actually not that bad to play. You just kind of run up to things and kill them. As you can see, we're getting pretty close to the Rift Guardian here. This build does have pretty good AoE damage. It's a little lacking in single target, but as you can see, we can clear out some waves of enemies pretty efficiently. And that is because of the Invoker 4-piece, where every time you hit an enemy with Punish or Slash, I think it's every enemy within 15 yards of the pickup location, and I just wasted a bombardment right when the Guardian came up. That was bad planning. But anyway, basically everything within, I think it's 15 yards of you, takes all of your thorns damage, rather. So basically we're stacking thorns damage. And because this is supposed to be such an early build guide, such an early season guide, we don't have a Boyarski's chip yet. We have very low thorns damage. Most of our thorns damage is coming from Iron Maiden, actually. So, and of course we'll get more into that here in just a minute, if I can ever kill this Guardian. As you may have noticed at the top of the screen, we've now got our overlay for Level with a Cause for Season 13. It's almost time. As I'm recording this, it is Wednesday morning at about 1:30 a.m. Central Time. So we've got a little over 2 days left before the grind commences. It's going to be a really fun season. I'm a little disappointed. I had intended to get all of these build guides out a lot sooner than I have been able to. And of course, a big part of that is my computer difficulties I've been having. In case you were not aware, as I mentioned in my previous video, I did actually just build a new PC. I've been having some issues with it, having some issues with the internet on it. I actually had to go back out and buy a wireless card, and so that's a little suboptimal, but it is what it is. It's allowing us to make these videos real quick, so I mean, hey, that's something, right? As you can see, Greater of 20 cleared in 8 minutes 18 seconds with no Paragon, marquee level gems only, no augments, of course, and no legendary gems. Just using the 4-piece bonus of the Invoker set, Thorns of the Invoker. Thorns damage now hits all enemies in a 15-yard radius around you. Each time you hit an enemy with Punish, Slash, or Block an attack, your Thorns is increased by 140% by 2 seconds. So I did say the effect of the 2-piece bonus was a little off compared to what I thought it was. I apologize. It's been a while since I've played Invoker. It's going to be very important with this build to make sure that whatever weapon you're using, that you have a topaz, a yellow gem in it, because that is going to give you 4,000 thorns damage. And that's pretty much it. That's kind of the key here. Bombardment has a 60-second cooldown. We're sitting at 41% CDR, which is not bad, especially for early in the season. It's actually probably a little unrealistic for this early in the season. But you're just kind of looking for Thorns damage everywhere. In the cube, we've got no beneficial items. So we cleared this with 0 legendary items outside of our set items. No Paragon except for in movement speed because, I mean, let's be real, this testing is a lot more fun if I have a little movement speed. As for skills, our primary attack is going to be Slash with the Guard rune so that we gain armor for each enemy hit. We're using Bombardment with the Barrel of Spikes rune. Basically, now Barrel of Spikes, or rather now Bombardment deals Thorns damage. Defensive, we've got Iron Skin with the Reflective Skin rune so that attackers take extra Thorns damage. Are you seeing a pattern yet? Laws of Justice with the Immovable Object rune. This is just going to reduce the amount of damage you take, and is probably pretty negotiable with the other laws. For movement ability, we're using Steed Charge with Spiked Barding, which is going to deal Thorns damage as you roll through enemies. And Accurate's Champion, we are using the Prophet rune for this video, just for an extra life. You could also use something like Rally, which is going to reduce your cooldowns, and that may just be better this early in the season. For passives, we're using Indestructible, which is another cheat death. So that gives us 2 cheat deaths. So it's probably better to just use Rally or to use a passive like Finery instead of Indestructible. But I digress. We're using Lord Commander, which is going to reduce the cooldown of Steed Charge by 25% and reduce the cooldown of Bombardment by 35%. Fervor, obviously, or Heavenly Strength, just depending on what you're using. If you're using a two-handed with a shield, obviously use Heavenly Strength. Otherwise, use Fervor. And then, of course, Iron Maiden. Your Thorns damage is increased by 50%. So for this video, we're sitting at 27,000 Thorns damage, which is probably more than you can expect this, super early in the season. But again, we do have a yellow gem in our weapon, and we have Thorns damage on several items. So I think the Invoker set has a higher chance to roll Thorns damage. I don't know that for a fact. It just kind of seems like that's how things go. But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're ready for Season 13. And ladies and gentlemen, until next time, this is Primetime CP23, and I'm out.